Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps, a continuing series to those that would be of the 144,000 and multitude that will come out of the great tribulation, to a nation of believers who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuwah and accept Yahushua as Mashiach. My name is Symmanayah, and today is December 18, 2013. And in this segment, I want to address when populations collide. When populations collide. My brothers and sisters, all too often we read in or hear about a matter without regards to the details. I want you to think about these key words as we move into this segment of man's final steps. These key words such as who, when, where, what, and how. I will begin by setting the stage for this segment when populations collide with these words and verses. There will be a movement of people. All too often you have heard me mention of Isaiah 11 when he says, "And he shall raise a banner for the nations and gather the outcasts of Yasharal and assemble the dispersed of Yehudas from the four corners of the earth." Isaiah 43:5-7. "Do not fear, for I am with you. I shall bring your seed from the east and gather you from the west. I shall say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not keep them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth, all those who are called by my name, whom I have created, formed, even made for my esteem." Jeremiah 23, verse 3 and 4. "Therefore I shall gather the remnant of my flock out of all the lands where I have driven them, and shall bring them back to their fold, and they shall bear and increase. And I shall raise up shepherds over them, and they shall feed them, and I shall fear no more, nor be discouraged, nor shall there be lacking, declares Yahuwah." And they shall fear no more, I shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be discouraged, nor shall they be lacking, declares Yahuwah. Revelation 7:4, "And I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 sealed out of the tribes of Yasharal, of the children of Yasharal." 7:9 reads, "After this I looked and saw a great crowd which no one was able to count, out of all nations and tribes and peoples and tongues, standing before the throne and before the Lamb, dressed in white robes and palm branches in their hands." Dropping down to 7:14, Revelation still. "And I said to him, Master, you know," and he said to me, "These are those coming out of the great distress," or tribulation as some may know it, "having washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the lambs." My brothers, do not these scriptures that I've read represent movement of people? What about destruction of people? Revelation 6:7 talks about a seal, talks about many other things, but specifically verses 7 and 8 of the 6th chapter. Revelation chapter 6, verse 7 and 8. And it reads as follows: "When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, 'Come and see.' And I looked and saw a pale horse, and he who sat on it had the name of Death, and the grave followed with him, and authority was given to him over a fourth of the earth to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth." And what about trumpets? An excerpt regarding the sixth messenger sounding. Revelation's 9th chapter, verse 13 and 14 says, "And the sixth messenger sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before Elohim, saying to the sixth messenger who had the trumpet, Release the four messengers, those having been bound at the great river Euphrates." Moving on to the 15th verse. I'm in the 9th chapter of Revelation. 15th verse. "And the four messengers, those having been prepared for the hour and day and month and year, were released to kill a third of mankind." My brothers and sisters, I have presented to you scriptures regarding people gathering, using Revelation 7:4 regarding 144,000, and Revelation 7:9 reflecting a great crowd from all nations, tribes, peoples, and tongues. Don't ignore the 14th verse of the 7th chapter of Revelation, which defines this group as those coming out of the great tribulation. I have also presented scriptures regarding massive death. If you do the math, well over 3.6 billion people will die during the Great Tribulation, if not more. Now, taking under consideration the 5 key words that I mentioned and presented at the beginning of this segment, which were who, when, where, what, and how, one should be able to get the picture regarding when populations collide. Yes, populations, people colliding, cultures colliding. Those who are guided and led by the Spirit of Yahushua will come together in unity as one body with many members. Those who are unbelievers, yes, they will butt heads. They will collide with one another in a way in which we will see a whole different characteristics, a whole different outcome, a whole different result. If scriptures inform us of movement, a gathering per se, as well as a time of massive death, the question should be posed to who will be in the ranks of those moved as well as those killed. When will we witness these events occurring? Specifically, have end times begun? Where will people be going? And will it be intermittent? And who will be going where? What will be the demographic makeup regarding culture, race, age, gender, etc. among the ranks of those who would be among the obedient? How will we come together as one, in unity as one? These and many more questions should be thoughts that come to mind. These questions, my brothers and sisters, will receive answers. I am compelled to believe with all my mind, body, and soul the 144,000 and multitude will rise in the foreseeable future. I am compelled to believe we are witnessing a time when populations collide. And as a result, in the wake of famine, drought, pestilence, and disease, in the wake of civil unrest and turmoil and increased violence, we will see a time when populations will indeed collide. There will be the merging of believers gathered as well as the migration of population as destruction unfolds. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Prepare, O Yasharal. We are about to witness something extraordinary as these events become more visible. We are in a refining state, a perfecting process, a process that will magnify the fulfillment of all that is written regarding end times. Remember, my brothers and sisters, these are man's final steps as we know it in these earthen vessels. Stay tuned as the series continue. Continue to pray for the ability to discern, understand, and respond accordingly, according to the guidance of the Spirit of Yahushua. Pray that you're able to discern, understand, and respond to those whom He has chosen to use in us, one towards another, or those that He has chosen as leaders for us. The refining process has begun, the perfecting of 144,000 and multitude, to prepare to bring them to the point where the robes are white, to bring them to the point where we are prepared to meet Yahushua Mashiach upon His return. Continue, my brothers, and sisters, to be encouraged. Continue to endure. My prayer is that each of us are able to endure until the very end. And remember, when populations collide, yes, it will be much adjustments, things that must occur for us to adapt to the phenomenon that will be unfolding before our very eyes. But be mindful, the plan, as I mentioned often, belongs to the Most High, and it will come to be with much success. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, continue to stay tuned as the series of man's final steps continue. Shalom, shalom, shalom.